Good afternoon, students. I welcome you all on this teleconferencing session on the topic International Marketing Entry Strategies. Dear students, you might be knowing it that the scope of marketing is not confined only within the countries. Rather, various countries are there where this game can be played. So here today we will see that how an entrepreneur can enter in the international market. It means that what are the strategies he has to adopt in order to be there in the international market. So in order to discuss these issues in detail, we have Professor Mittal from Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University. So I welcome Professor Mittal and hand over the session.
Thank you, Dr. Sunil. Students, it has already been told that today I will be taking with you a session on international market entry strategies. Now, students, it is very rightly said that marketing is not limited to the domestic arena, and as globalization is on the rise, and most of the countries, they have followed a model which is a model of LPG, that is called as liberalization, privatization and globalization. That means in India, since 1991, we went in for liberalization, and after that government started looking towards the privatization. And you must have seen that most of the public sector organizations have gone in for disinvestment. So the move of disinvestment is a move towards privatization. And now finally the government is moving towards making the Indian firms globalized. That is what is the strategy of globalization. So friends, we need to understand that if any firm wants to go in for international market, then what are the various types of entry modes, and then what can be the various entry strategies. Now at the very beginning, we need to understand that any firm or any organization which wants to enter the international market needs to have a level of commitment. Now friends, we can understand it with the help of a very simple example. If we are trying to correlate it with our own self, that if I am committed to become an IAS, I will definitely become an IAS. If I am committed to become a doctor, then definitely I will be making all efforts to become a doctor. Similarly, a firm, if it wants to go in for international business and needs to have that level of commitment, then there will be no reasons that the firm will not go in for international business. So friends, the first thing that we look in for is the level of commitment. Now if you look in for the level of commitment, we can have four types of commitments which can be there on the part of any firm. Now one, we say we are talking in terms of no involvement in international business. That means firms are not exporting their products directly, but in a way they are finding that their products are being exported, but through the medium of either the export houses, or basically we are finding that they are in a position to get the queries from buying houses, and they are making supplies to these buying houses. That means the exporter does not export its product, but the product find entry into the international market with the help of some organizations, which I have said can be the export houses, or it can be in the form of buying houses. In other words, friend, maybe a foreign buyer is coming into India, and the foreign buyer finds your product to be of interest, therefore he buys the product. You are not basically going in that country to market your products, rather the foreign buyer is coming out over here, he buys the product, takes your product over there in that particular country, and this is how exactly your product find markets in the overseas market. That means from your side there is no involvement, you are not making any extra effort in order to enter into the international market. So this is the first stage, friends, what we are normally finding when the firms are not aware that what is the importance of international markets, then they are not involved in the operations of international marketing. Now the second can be a type of a firm which is having a temporary involvement. Temporary involvement means it has made its mind to go in for international market, but for that particular reason it has not followed any type of a approach or a serious attempt to enter the international market. Basically what they are looking in for, that if there are some temporary disturbance in our country, say for example I am talking of fans, if we are finding that the fans do not sell in winters, so they are looking in for what? Even out the sales by pushing up the sales of these fans in the overseas market. So that means whenever there is a surplus, they look forward for disposing of that surplus in the international markets. Hence, it is a very casual approach, or we are talking in terms of temporary involvement in terms of doing international business or international marketing. Now, the third level of firm or the third type of firms can be the type of the firms which are involved in the international markets on a continuous basis. That means they are very serious. They had made serious attempt in order to enter into the international markets, but they have not started so. And for that particular reason, what they try to do is that they find out what type of markets exist for their products. Say for example, if they are in the business of pressure cooker, they look in for that the pressure cooker can be exported to what various countries, and they may find that the pressure cooker can only be exported to those countries which are having the same culture as is the culture of India as regards cooking of food. Because if you talk in terms of this particular item, pressure cooker cannot be exported to all countries of the world. So it can only be exported where there is a culture of cooking the food in what? Pressure cooker. And maybe these countries are what are called as Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Maldives, all these neighboring countries. So that means they first of all make serious attempt to identify the country. Once they have identified the country, then they try to identify the market within that country. Say for example, I say Bangladesh, so where the market is in Bangladesh is in Dhaka or any other place over there in Bangladesh. So that is what is called as they divide the market into different segments, and they identify a particular target segment with which they will start marketing their products. Once they have identified the target market, what they try to do is that they identify the buyers in that market. Now I again take the same example. They have identified Bangladesh as their country of market. They have identified Dhaka as a place of market for its pressure cooker. Now they will identify who are the wholesalers and the retailers and the agents out over there in this particular market, and will try to contact these types of business contacts through communication or through correspondence, and will try to send to them their sample of products or in terms of the product catalog or the prices and their company profile in order to convince them to basically do business with them. That means now they are seriously involved in doing business. So that reflects what? A continual involvement on their part. They will even conduct what are called as business trips to this particular country, looking for getting the feedback from the market, come back, adapt their product as per the requirement of that particular market, go back. And this process is continued till they are in a position to get an idea that the buyer's requirement are being met by the firm who wants to enter into the international market. Now friends, then we have got the fourth type of firms who are so much involved in international marketing that we term these firms as the firms having global involvement. When I say global involvement, in this case you can look in for the firm becomes a truly international company by establishing branches in number of countries. So when I say global, it means that they are trying to do business not with one country, two countries, three countries, but they are trying to do business with most of the countries. And when they are trying to do business with most of the countries, so overnight they cannot do it. That means they are into this particular business from so many years, and therefore because of those years which they have spent, now they are in a position to what? Find market for their products in number of countries of the world, and this is how exactly they are having a global presence. The examples can be various types of multinational organizations. You have seen, friends, already that a lot of multinational companies have already entered into our country. Let us try to talk in terms of McDonald's. Right? You find McDonald's not only in US where it belongs to. McDonald's is over there in China, it is in Pakistan, it is in India, in many other countries of the world. So that means when they are transcending the national boundaries of many countries, and therefore their involvement is very high, and this is how exactly they become a truly global firm. Now in other words, friends, what I just want to inform you is that this is what is called as a level of orientation that is there in the minds of the international marketeer. Now the orientation is in the form of a framework that we abbreviate in the form of EPRG. EPRG stands for, E stands for ethnocentric. That means we are only having a home country orientation. P stands for polycentric. That means now we have started looking in for market for our products in any one of the country, that is the host country. And then we have got the R. R is called as regiocentric. Regiocentric means now we are trying to expand our market from that one country to other countries but belonging to the same region. Example was Bangladesh. Now I try to expand my market for my products in Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka also belongs to Asian region, or more specifically South Asia region. So this is how exactly regiocentric. And once we are in a position to market our products not to one country but to many countries belonging to a region, now we have more experience. And as a result of that, now we even bypass the continents and move into the other continents, and this is how exactly we become a truly global company. So EPRG. So E stands for ethnocentric, P stands for polycentric, R stands for regiocentric, and G stands for geocentric. So ethnocentric, when I say, it's a home orientation. Polycentric, when I say, it is host country orientation. Regiocentric, when I say, it is a region where we are trying to target or we are focusing. And geocentric means what? Now whole globe is what is our target. So this is how exactly, friends, it is a step-by-step process. So that means any firm from a national firm moves into international. And when I say international, it means what? Inter-nation. Inter-nation means what? Between two nations. So inter stands for between, and nations means what? More than one, that is two. So moment the domestic firm is in a position to export its product to any other country, it becomes international. And from international, when it starts marketing its product to number of countries, it becomes multinational. And when it tries to market its product to most of the countries, it becomes what is called as global firm. So friends, the first thing that is therefore to be understood very clearly by us is that when we talk in terms of market entry, we can take the market entry in a very slow and steady manner, because there are a lot of risks when we talk in terms of doing business internationally is altogether different from doing business in the domestic market. Now friends, let us try to see what are the different modes in which a domestic firm can enter into the international markets or the international arena. Now again, I will like that you should concentrate on the slide which I have prepared, and from there you will see that we have almost 6 types of modes through which we can enter the international markets. One is that we appoint agents in foreign countries, and we start getting the business queries from them, and therefore that will be a type of a process called as doing business through agents. So this is the elementary stage, and this is the elementary mode of entry into the international markets. Now the second way is that once we are getting business through the agents, now we can think in terms of opening our overseas office. So therefore entering into the international markets by opening our own offices, like say for example, I am situated in Delhi, I have started doing business with Dubai. Now to further expand my business in Dubai, I open an office in Dubai. So that will be a second mode in terms of entering into the international business by opening of the overseas office, which will further give a push to my sales in Dubai, because I will have a local presence and I can basically answer the questions and the queries of the overseas buyers there and then. And if I can keep my buyers happy, you can understand I will be in a position to get more and more sales. Now then friends, the third way what we can think of is that now we are already successful over there in Dubai. Our brands are very popular over there in that particular market. Then what we can do is that we can move out of that particular market by allowing a local firm of that particular country a type of an arrangement called as licensing arrangement. So we give a license to that particular foreign company to start manufacturing our products using our brand name. The technology we also provide to that particular party, but the investments all are made by that particular party. And in lieu of this licensing that we have allowed to that foreign company, we are in a position to get what is called as royalty. So that means when we are in a position to get the royalty, again, in a way we are in a position to have sales in that particular country. And why we are entering into a licensing arrangement? Because now we want to enter into some other market. So therefore from Dubai we move into say Iran, or we move into Iraq or other neighboring countries, and again expand our the market size. Now the fourth arrangement can be in the form of franchising. What is franchising? It is an arrangement where we identify a type of a franchisor who basically is interested to basically take a franchise. So this is an agreement between a franchisor and a franchisee. So franchisor is a export firm who is trying to give its marketing rights to a local firm in that particular country, as well as helping that particular firm in terms of all types of business problems in exchange for a fee. That means in licensing we take royalty, whereas in franchising we take a fee. So that is the basic difference between licensing and franchising. Idea is again that we want to expand our market scope, And therefore, in certain countries, rather than locally producing our products in that country, we enter into what is called as a franchising arrangement. McDonald's, you must have seen. So they have franchised the McDonald outlet over here in Mumbai, and from there the master franchisee have further franchised into other parts of India. So this is another marketing arrangement that helps to enter into the international markets. Now friends, once we have a lot of experience, we have accumulated a lot of resources. Now we can also enter into certain countries in the form of what are called as strategic alliances. These alliances are given a name, what is called as joint venture. Now when we say joint venture, it is a type of equity participation. Now you must have seen the examples of a lot of joint ventures which have already taken place in India. Now the joint ventures in the form of what? Hero Honda. So when we say Hero Honda, it means there are two companies which are involved. One is a Hero Group, which is an Indian group. Another is a Honda Group, which is from which is from Japan. So that means two companies are collaborating. Both our companies are investing in terms of the equity, and the joint venture arrangement can be worked out. It can be 50-50, it can be 40-60, it can be 60-40. But depending upon what are the joint venture rules available over there in that particular country where we want to enter into the joint venture arrangements. So it means what? That this is joint venture is a type of a strategic alliance where we are not only in a position to get a local partner in that particular country, and with the help of that local partner we will be in a position to what? Stabilize ourselves in a better manner in that particular country. Another name that we can give to joint venture is called as arranged marriage in a particular country. So a firm from outside marries itself with a local partner in that particular country, and therefore take the expertise of that particular country firm in order to what? Push its sales in that particular country. Now the last arrangement which can be worked out by any firm is in the form of what is called as, now they start manufacturing their products in the foreign countries. It means what? That instead of manufacturing the products in their domestic country and therefore exporting from here and therefore paying the custom duties out over there, what the foreign firms they can think of is that they can go out over there in a particular country, and if they find that the government of that particular country is promoting industrial investment, then they are in a position to get the land, resources in the terms of finances, etc., as well as a lot of benefits from the government of that particular country, and they start local manufacturing in that particular country, and not with any type of a partner but of their own. So initially they can think in terms of SKD or CKD mode. SKD, CKD means semi-knockdown or completely knocked down. Now that means they are taking their components over there, they have only established their assembling unit and they assemble the components out over there. And the second arrangement can be there in the form of that even these components are also being sourced from that particular country itself. Because what they are finding is that the cost of the components when they are locally sourced is less as compared to the components which are shipped from domestic market. So this is how exactly we find a firm which is having a 100% manufacturing base in a foreign country, and why they are trying to create this type of manufacturing base, just to take advantage of what? Local factors of production. Now for example, you must have seen this in case of FDIs. When we say FDI, it is nothing but called as foreign direct investment. So foreign direct investment is nothing but setting up of a industrial unit in any country. So this 100% manufacturing can also be given a name of what? Foreign direct investment. So just to remind you friends that what are the different modes of entry, we can start direct exports by exporting our products with the help of agents, which is the elementary stage. Secondly, what we can do is that we can open our overseas office over there in that particular country. The third way is that we can liquidate that country, allow licensing arrangement in that particular country, move to other markets. In that particular market, we can move via what? Becoming a franchisee of a particular company, or we issue what? Franchisees for our company products. Or the another way is what? That we can think in terms of going in for what are called as joint ventures. And by having what are called as identifying the local partners, and with the help of those local partners, we are in a position to what? Start our business in that particular country. And finally friends, that we even are not interested to keep these local partners. We ourselves have so much of experience now that we basically start our 100% manufacturing in that particular country. So if you look in for the process, it is very simple. We move that means our product, first of all it goes through export. Then we go as a part of the business trip, looking for what are the facilities and resources available in that particular country. And then what happens is that our manufacturing goes. So we say the product goes, then the person goes, and then our trade goes. And this is how exactly we are in a position to become what? A truly global firm. right? So this is one of the ways in which we are in a position to what, enter into the international markets. Otherwise, if you look in for a normal firm which is already operating in the domestic market, then you will be finding what, that these domestic firms, either they follow the indirect exporting route or they are following what is called as direct exporting route. Now let us try to understand what's the difference between this indirect exporting and direct exporting. When we say indirect exporting, you can rightly see from here that it is a manufacturer or an exporter, not an exporter so far, because this manufacturer is making supplies to an export house or to a buying houses. And once they purchase the items of the manufacturers, then they are basically what, sending it to the overseas wholesalers or the retailers. So that means the product is going, but the brand name of the manufacturer is not being popularized. So that is why we say it is an indirect way of exporting your products. Now it is not a good mode. It is not going to give you any type of a goodwill in the international market. You will not have any international image. You will not have any type of an experience of operating in the international market. So for that particular reason, friends, it is being advocated that if we want to enter into the international markets, we should always go by direct exporting. And if we look in for this direct exporting, again, I will like that you should focus on the same slide. And if you look in for that particular slide, you will be finding that again, as a manufacturer, now we are exporter ourselves. We appoint an agent in a foreign country, or we appoint what are called as distributors in a foreign country, and through them we are in a position to tap the wholesalers, and from wholesalers to whom? To the retailers, and retailers finally make our products available to the local consumers out over there. So direct exporting gives you a lot of advantages. Now one of the important advantages is that now you have international image. That improves the goodwill not only in the domestic market but also in the international market. Now the second advantage which you get, once you move international, you are in a position to know your competitors, learn about their technologies. And when you are in a position to learn about those technologies, you can bring back those technologies into India and can further improve your product, which will not only improve your the product, as well as it will also help to reduce the cost. And this is how exactly it will give a further thrust to your products in the international markets. Now the third advantage is that maybe there are some type of seasonal fluctuations in our country. Those seasonal fluctuations can be avoided as a result of what, the export markets, and therefore direct exporting is a better method as compared to we are talking in terms of the indirect exporting. Now let us try to look in for what are the ways. If you look in for doing the international business, again there can be two types of an arrangements over here. One is that we are looking in for sitting back in India and doing business from India itself, or we are moving into that particular country and then doing the business over there in that country. And this point we have already understood, that if we are trying to do business by sitting back in India, then it is what is called as exports. But if we are trying to do business by going into a foreign country, then it means what? We have established our own office or a warehouse out over there, and through that we are trying to what? Market our products, which is a better way of entering into the international market. This is a big question before us. Now over here I will like to say that if we have to go in for international business, the direct exporting involves what? Initially you can think of starting doing your business sitting back over here in India. But once you start getting some type of an experience, then you should always think in terms of opening your overseas office, and then through that overseas office you should try to what? Find the local buyers over there. This way you will be in a position to not only increase your market size, but also will be in a position to what? Know what are the latest market trends, and therefore keep on modifying your products, and therefore keep on what? Looking in for more and more sales in those particular markets. Now this was something relating to what is called as entry modes. Now let us try to see what are the various types of marketing strategies which can be used in order to enter the international markets. Now friends, first of all let us try to understand the basic thing when we talk of marketing. When we say marketing, it is nothing but customer focus. Customer focus means the buyer focus, and when we say buyer focus, that means we are trying to understand the needs and requirements of the buyer. Now in international marketing, when we talk of, friends, then who are our customers? That is the first question we are trying to understand. So the customers are not the domestic customers, but these are the overseas customers. So we have to conduct a market research after identifying the country, that who are our customers, and then what are their requirements. Now when we talk in terms of the requirements, I illustrate out over here. Now we are talking in terms of ready-made garment. if I am into ready-made garment business and I am trying to make a t-shirt, and this t-shirt I am interested to export, then friends I have to look in for what is the market with which I want to start. Let us say I am interested to start with Germany. So then I have to look in for the taste and preferences of the German buyers relating to a t-shirt. As regards what is the size of the t-shirt, what is the type of design and style of that particular t-shirt, what type of say prints they look in for, what type of color combinations they are looking in for when we talk of the t-shirt, and the t-shirt which is being designed or produced for Germany, friends, cannot be as such marketed to what? Any other country. Let us say France. Why? Because when we talk of France, market changes. Therefore, the requirements of the buyers, they change because the buyers are different. Frenchmen may be taller as compared to the German. As a result of which, what will happen? The shirt has to be adjusted as per what? The requirements of the French buyer. So it means what? The first important thing which is there in international market entry is to understand what is the country with which we want to start, and once we have identified that country, who are the buyers of that particular country and what are their requirements. So as the countries they change, the buyers they change, their requirements they change. Now over here I would like to advise you that the requirements of the buyers of any country are shaped by the culture of that country. For example, you must have seen people often on saying that US is America, and therefore it is the buyers are using what are called as American culture. We are Indians, therefore we have Indian culture. We go over there to Japan, we often hear it is a Japanese culture. We go to China, we often hear it is a Chinese culture. So that means as the countries they change, their cultures they change. And as their cultures they change, the requirement of the buyers they change. So in order to understand the requirements of the buyer, friends, what you can do is that you can undertake a cultural study. And for that particular reason, what are the various factors of the culture? Now language is one of the factor, religion is another factor, the social class is another factor, what they eat, what they wear, that means the dress code, the food they eat, how they cook the food, this is also another part of culture. What type of music they listen, that is another part of the culture, right? What type of programs they participate in at the time when they want to recreate, what type of dances. Now for example, when I talk of Americans, they love pop music. When I talk of Indians, they love what is called as classical music. So where is the difference? Difference is in terms of the culture. So therefore the first very important variable in order to understand the marketing is the differences in the culture, and therefore after studying the culture, incorporate these differences of the culture in the product. So the product which has to be presented before the customers need to be adapted product as compared to a standardized product. So because when we talk in terms of marketing, friends, you must be aware that we talk of 4 P's of marketing. And when we talk of 4 P's of marketing, the first P is product. And when we talk of this product in international market entry, we have to have an adapted product or a change product as compared to the same product that we are offering in the domestic market. For example, to illustrate my point, what I want to say, I am into a business of auto parts. I am having my own shop of auto parts in Kashmiri Gate. So that means if I have taken a decision to market my auto parts in foreign country, what I have to do, I have to first of all identify a country where I want to export my auto parts. Let us say, based on some data, I have taken a decision that I want to start exporting my auto parts to Dubai. Now friends, what is very important for us to understand is that let us try to study what is the culture of Dubai. That means who are the buyers of Dubai, who will buy the auto parts, and what type of auto parts will be required. Very simple, auto parts which sell in India will not be sold over there in Dubai. Why? Because the type of the products are different. Now on Indian roads, if you look in for, we are finding more Maruti, more Centro products. Therefore as a result of that, the auto parts which will be in demand will be for Maruti and Centro. If I go over there in Dubai and again conduct a market survey, what I am finding is that maybe Peugeot or maybe Toyota is more on the roads as compared to what Maruti and Centro, or maybe Maruti and Centro is altogether missing. So it means what? I will be in the business of auto parts, but at the time of exporting the auto parts, what I have to do? I have to change my product and look in for having the auto parts which will be required over there in Dubai. So this is the first P of marketing which we have to understand, and therefore I give it a name, product adaptation. Again, I basically help you to understand this product adaptation in a very simple example. Now, I'm talking in terms of electronic item. Maybe it is stereo. Now you look in for in India, this stereo operates on 220 volts. And if you look in for Japan, it operates on 110 volts. So if I want to make my product acceptable over there in the Japanese market, what I have to do? I have to go in for product adaptation. It means I have to attach an adapter to my product, whereby I will be in a position to provide a facility to the Japanese that if they want, they can operate it on 110 volts. So product adaptation, therefore, we say is the better strategy as compared to product standardization. Now let us come to the pricing part, because the second P is the price. Now if you look in for international pricing as market entry strategies, again friends, you have to look in for the competition is very strong in international markets. Now as compared to the domestic market, 4 types of competition one has to face when they enter into the international market. Now the first type of competition what they face is in terms of the other exporters from our own country. The second competition is the other exporters belonging to other countries. And the third competition which they are facing is the local production or the local producers in that country. And the fourth competition any Indian firm faces is the competition of product obsolescence or product substitution. So that means in the international markets we have 4 degrees of competition as compared to what? Domestic market. And since the degree of competition is very high in the international markets, therefore the prices really have to be kept low. And for that particular reason, the approach that is being advocated for keeping our prices low is what is called as contribution analysis or marginal costing. That means we do not burden our prices with the element of the fixed cost and only try to absorb what are called as the variable costs. Now the question arises, what are the variable costs? Variable costs are the direct costs. That means what is the cost of raw material, what is the cost of labor, what is the cost of variable overheads, what is the packaging cost. Add up all these, in that we add what is the profit margins. Now then what are the fixed costs? That means the cost of, when we talk in terms of the fixed cost, depreciation cost, we talk in terms of the rent cost. All these costs are fixed costs which we do not burden on the international pricing. So as a result of that, what we are finding is that we are in a position to keep our prices low. Now friends, we also look in for that if when we talk in terms of export marketing or international marketing, we are in a position to get a lot of incentives from the government. So sometimes what happens is that we even are in a position to keep our prices low by even passing on some of the incentives which have been given by the government to us, to whom? To the overseas buyers. And as a result of this, we will be in a position to create a strong foothold for ourselves in the international markets. So this was the second element of marketing, that is what is called as pricing. So what we have used a strategy called as penetration pricing. And when I say penetration pricing, that means keeping the prices low. Now then comes the third element of marketing, and that is what is called as promotion, or we say the third P of marketing called as promotion. Now again friends, we have to look in for the way in which the products can be promoted internationally is altogether different from the ways in which the promotion can be done in the domestic market. In domestic markets, we are using more of advertising. In the international markets, we are not using advertising. We are using more of certain other ways in the form of, we first of all create our website. And on this website, we are trying to have all our latest collections, their prices, our company profile. And as a result of this, by having our website, we are in a position to have a global presence. That means we are now available at the click of the mouse. And we popularize our website so that the international buyers can see our strengths, can see our advantages by going on our website. Now the second way to promote our products internationally is by conducting business trips. That means during these business trips, what we do, we identify the addresses of the potential buyers in particular country. Then we plan a business trip, take our sample of products, now go out over there, show our sample products to these particular buyers and get the feedback. Based on their feedback, we are in a position to modify the products, again conduct a business trip, again show these products. That means the process has to be repeated till the time we are in a position to make the products closer to the requirement of the buyer. Now just to illustrate, very simple, if I am in the flower business and I decide to go in for exporting roses, then what type of roses will be preferred out over there in Dubai? It is best told to me by whom? By the Dubai buyer itself. So what is best for me is what? Undertake a business trip to Dubai, take the sample of what? flowers with me in the form of roses, show these roses, understand what has to be improved in these particular roses, so that I am in a position to what? Make my roses as close to the requirement of the Dubai buyer as they want. Now the third way of promoting our business in the international market is through participation in what? Trade fairs and exhibitions. Now friends, you will be surprised to know that almost 3,000 trade fairs and exhibitions are held in the international markets around the year. And we have how many days in the year? If you look in for 365 days. And in 365 days, if 3,000 trade fairs are being held, so that shows the popularity of what? The trade fairs. So this is how exactly trade fairs are very popular among the exporters. They identify prominent trade fairs. In India, we have one organization which helps the exporters in deciding about the trade fairs. The name of the organization is ITPO, Indian Trade Promotion Organization. This is in Pragati Maidan. So we can approach that ITPO, know what are the international trade fairs which are held around the year, and on the basis of that, once we have these international trade fairs calendar, then on the basis of that we can take a decision to participate in a trade fair. Now in these trade fair, who are coming? These are the international buyers who are coming. They are the wholesalers, they are the agents of that particular country. They see our product, they have questions there, and then they ask the questions, and we are in a position to what? Clarify those questions. And this is how exactly, friends, we are in a position to what? Come closer to their requirements. So friends, these are the three very important ways of promoting the products internationally, which practically, if you look in for, are missing where? In the domestic market. So we look in for that international marketing is more challenging as compared to what? The domestic marketing. Now if you look in for the fourth element, and that is what is called as placing. Now when we talk of placing in international market, friends, it involves two important dimensions. One, what is called as physical distribution. When we say physical distribution, it means what? Transportation of the goods from our country to the country of the export. So that means it requires logistics, or it requires movement. And for that, many decisions have to be taken by the exporter or the international marketeer in terms what is the mode by which I should export my products, how much time has been given to me by the buyer, what type of modes are available, what is the cost of using these particular modes. Then not only that, he has to look in for what type of formalities have to be completed, like in terms of the insurance, in terms of packing, before he goes in for what is called as physical handling of the goods or physical transportation of the goods. So it's a very crucial decision. Whereas this type of a decision is practically not of that much dimension as compared to the international dimensions, right? So that means the physical handling is easy in the domestic market as compared to what? International market. I have to transport my products from India into Latin America, say for example Brazil. Then I have to look in for how much time my products will be in transportation, and accordingly I have to look in for what? The strength of my packaging material. Otherwise what will happen? During the transit, there can be a lot of stress and strain. As a result of that, the products can rattle, and that can spoil what the quality of the product. So the type of the cushioning material, the type of the marking which I have to do, all these decisions have to be very carefully taken in the field of what? International marketing at time of physical handling. Now once our product reaches over there in that particular country, now we have to look in for how the product can reach to the end consumer. And that is what is called as channel of distribution, COD, channel of distribution. Now when we talk of this channel of distribution, friends, then we are looking in for what is the chain of distribution. That means how the product moves in that particular market. And friends, again over here I would like to add that channels of distribution vary from country to country. Maybe in certain countries the channel is very simple. We find agents, and the agents therefore give the products to the big retailers, and retailers therefore push the product to the consumer out over there. We go to say for example Germany. Over there we find a slightly bigger channel. Over there we have what are called as the importers. Importers, they pass on these products to the wholesalers, and wholesalers, they pass on the products to the retailers, and from the retailers then the product goes to the consumer. Maybe I go to Japan. Over there the channel of distribution is the longest in the world. Now we have what are called as large importing organizations, which are called as shogo shashas. These are the large buying organizations of Japan, shogo shashas. So they import the products, but they import anything what is being required over there in Japan. Once they have imported, then there are called as product specialty wholesalers. Then they pass on these products, what they have imported, to the product specialty wholesalers. Then these product specialty wholesalers further pass on these products to what are called as the city wholesalers or the area wholesalers. The area wholesalers then pass on these products to semi-wholesalers, and semi-wholesalers therefore pass on to what are called as retail chains, and retail chains and then finally to retailers. And this is how exactly through retailers finally the product reaches over there to the consumer. So almost if you look in for, there are 6-7 people in between, and when there are 6-7 people or the channel of distribution is longer, not only we have to look in for the strength of the packing, but simultaneously the commissions or the margins that we are giving to whom? To these middlemen. And accordingly the price that ultimately will be paid by whom? By the end user will be higher. In those countries where the channel distance will be short or the number of intermediaries will be less, the markups will be less, and on the basis of that the price that will be paid by the final consumer will also be less. So this is how exactly we have to look in for when we talk in terms of international marketing. Now it is not only the 4 P's which are important for us to be understood, but friends, when we talk of international marketing, then what is more important is that we have 2 set of forces which are playing in the market. One who are called as the customers, and the second who are called as the competitors. And friends, you'll be surprised to know that the competition is very, very strong in the overseas market, which I have already illustrated. I've also said that the customers in the international markets are also very, very demanding. And for that particular reason, in order to do this international business or to involve yourself in international marketing, you have to have your presence in that country very frequently. And for that particular reason, you'll be surprised to know that if you talk in terms of international marketeer, for almost 20 days in 1 month, that particular marketeer is abroad. And when he is abroad, he is trying to spend time with whom? With his buyers. And when he is spending time with his buyers, he is trying to know about the requirements of the buyer. I just give a very small example. Say for example, I am into a cushion cover business. Then the type of the cushion covers which will be demanded over there in America, which I have taken as my export market, I have to look in for who are my buyers. Let us say I have identified a retail chain over there in America, Sears Roebuck. Then I have to have a meeting with what the purchasing manager of the Sears Roebuck, who will have their own whole purchasing staff. So whatever samples of the cushion covers which I have got it made from India, I have to put all these samples over there to whom? Before my team of the buyer over there called as a CS team. And this CS team will tell me which cushion covers will be acceptable in America, which cushion covers will not be acceptable. It is not only that, they will also let me know that if I am into cushion cover, they will also throw certain cushion covers before me. Can you do these cushion covers also? So that means, although I cannot think of the market requirements, these market requirements are told to me by whom? By my customers also. So this is very important for us to understand, friend, that in international marketing, visit to a foreign country is very, very important. And till the time you are in a position to be there in that particular country, you will not be in a position to get to know the requirements of your buyers. Now the second thing which I have said is the competitors. Now when we go over there for a visit in a foreign country, friends, then also we are not only targeting our customers, but we are also looking at our competitors. Why? Because maybe we find that the competitors have introduced their better products in that particular market, and if we do not improve upon our products, then we very clearly know that our competitors are going to bypass us. Now again, I illustrate this with the help of a small example. I am into a business of making fashion bags, and I am exporting these fashion bags over there to America. Now when I go to export my fashion bags, I am trying to understand the requirements of the buyers. I am also trying to know from that particular market that the bags of which various countries are coming into that market. I find that the bags from China are also coming. Therefore, what is the approach of international marketeer? That he will also like to source the bags of what? These Chinese country, bring these bags into India, dismantle these bags, look in for how their bags are what? Better, and therefore improve upon what? Those bags, go back into the market, and this is how exactly he will be in a position to what? Always remain ahead of whom? Competitors. Japanese give it a name called as Kaizen, and according to me this Kaizen is nothing but called as what? Continuous improvement. And this continuous improvement, when we say, it is nothing but we are talking in terms of adding new and new features. So who gives us these new features? Either they are given by the customers or they are given by whom? By the competitors. So this is how exactly, friends, we are trying to what? Accept the marketing challenge. The only thing which I will like to add out over here is that you have to have what? A strong commitment on your part. And if you are in a position to be committed towards what? Going in for international business, then only, friends, you will be in a position to what? Do something justice over there in this business of international marketing. Now I will like to sum up out over here the whole process of international marketing, and in this we can just say that start with the customer, that is the requirements of the customer. because over here the buyers are the international buyers. Secondly, use the 4 P's of marketing, and finally you look in for the satisfaction of your buyers. So that will make a complete process of marketing. Right. So thank you, friends.
Thank you, Professor Mittal, for making the presentation so simple, very systematic, and making the presentation in a very concise and precise manner. And I do hope that the presentation given by Professor Mittal will directly lead towards the betterment of the students. Thank you, Professor Mittal.
Thank you, sir.